A job that was supposed to be finished by the end of summer has taken over Major Pratt School. It has caused various problems and complications for everyone involved. The areas most affected are the high school classrooms, but because of the inconvenience, high school students have been relocated to areas such as middle years, early years, the junior gym, and the multi-purpose room.
They're taking a long time, and it's really inconvenient for us. It's a bad experience for our first year of high school.
Well, it kind of sucks because you can't do anything. We have no gym, so we have to go outside and do stuff, and it's not fun.
I think it's kind of a bummer for the grade 12s because they don't get lounge and whatnot. It's pretty weird, inconvenient. Classrooms are looking at loud.
All the teachers and students, it's kind of stressed everyone out.
It's really hot.
Oh yeah, that's weird. I don't know if that's just, I think it's just.
I don't know if that's relevant, but it's really hot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the ventilation is done right.
I miss the library.
I think they're kind of unnecessary and they should have been finished when they said they were going to be finished. It's kind of a nuisance for everybody.
The classrooms are really hot, and it's hard to concentrate or pay attention. And some places it's really loud.
Can't really concentrate because you're in the gym, in this small gym, and it stinks in there. It's just not fun.
It's pretty distracting when we were in the gym with all the noise.
I don't really think it has. Other than it's just the inconveniences and stuff.
Yeah, besides the heat, I don't have a problem with heat.
Pretty much gotten used to it by now, yeah.
Well, I know that, especially in the lower levels of the classrooms where all the high schoolers are, that it gets really noisy and it's really hard to focus.
It's boring, and you have nowhere to go. And there's nothing to do.
I have to go walk outside. We can't go in the gym and play.
Well, we're in here.
Can't go to the gym, so.
We're in here right now for a spare, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Kind of limits you to go.
Kind of just have to find an open room and sit in.
Yeah, there's kind of kids all over because there's nowhere to go really.
It's chaos.
It's anarchy, yeah.
I definitely don't spend time at the school. Like, I want to be here as little as possible, so I end up going home for most of them.
I think the renovation at the school is something that will be wonderful once it's finished, but to have renovations done during class time, school time, it has been extremely disruptive, stressful, difficult for the students, difficult for the staff. It's added a whole lot of tension in the building that wasn't necessary. I feel bad most of all for the phys ed teacher because he's been displaced last year for a brand new gym floor and displaced again because of the renovations. I would say he has probably had it the worst next to me. Well, I moved all my stuff in June when we were originally told that the renovations were happening, and I was politely teased and laughed at by my peers saying, oh, well, it's only you and the computer teacher that will be displaced. It'll never be any of us on the outside. And I just kind of laughed in my head at them in the sense that I knew darn well that the whole upstairs was going to be shut down because I listened to the construction workers in May and the beginning of June. So I moved my stuff to 2 teachers' rooms in June, only to be told in August while I was at a conference that everything was going to have to move again. So I politely, no, not politely, I had lots of choice words, came back and moved all my stuff, had my husband's construction crew come in and move my stuff down to the gym. Got my little corner all ready, made darn sure that they put my smartboard and everything in so that I would be an effective teacher with all the technology that I've been implementing in my classroom. They loaded it all up and then realized that it was entire crap. So 10 days into my teaching, I had some extremely colorful words for the CEO. I'm surprised that I did not get fired due to the vocab, which was probably not the best English to be using. And lo and behold, I had to move for a third time to the kindergarten room now. So now I'm in Minion Hall with a bunch of nose pickers and creepy little kids that open my door and look at me, and like I have a Minion wallpaper up and I still get boogers on my window, and my bells are different, we've got them hollering. We can even watch them fight outside while I'm trying to teach. So technically I guess I shouldn't complain because my classroom's a little bit bigger than all the other 13 teachers that were displaced. And I do have windows that open, so I do have air. I don't have heat, mind you, but that's optional in this building right now. This renovation has been extremely stressful. It has encouraged me to look forward to retirement probably earlier than necessary. Thank you.
Well, I think it's hard to be in a renovation situation when you know you're not getting anything out of it. Like, it's not like they're installing a hot tub in my room. All they're doing is changing the roof, which even after we have the world's most perfect roof, it won't make any difference in my life. It's not going to make my room nicer. It's not going to make teaching any easier. So even when this whole project is over, it won't be any better. So that's great. Well, as you can see, this is where they've put me. This is my classroom. I have a variety of things stored here. The temperature fluctuates so wildly that I had no choice but to put on this pelt to try and keep me warm. It matches my outfit today, but that was pure fluke, because how did I know that was going to happen? It's crowded, it's uncomfortable. Teachers come in and out of here all day to get things. And seasonal objects are stored here. There's remembrance things back there, Christmas things, Halloween things, you name it, and nobody even knows what these are. So I think all in all, it's not a really great situation to teach in, and it's certainly not a great situation for students to learn in either.
This is a result of the recent snowfall and another example why this renovation should have been completed earlier. Our new gym floor has now been flooded, as well as the upstairs classrooms.
How, in your opinion, how do you think the renovations are going so far?
I can only speak for our part of the project, which is the steel, which is going right on schedule. Some of the other stuff I think is a little behind schedule, but it's beyond my control. So.
And when do you estimate this will be done?
Like I said, that's not part of our scope of work, so I couldn't really tell you. I'm going to say after the new year.
Okay. Well, about 3 or 4 years ago, it was decided that the heating and cooling units on the roofs needed to be replaced because they were old, out of date. They started looking into it at that time. It was going to be a fairly simple project, but as they looked into it more and more, it became more extensive. That's the reason for the renovations initially, was to replace the heating and cooling units on the roof. But then the supports did not meet code for those particular units. So the main, or the majority of the construction renovations is dealing with reinforcing and putting new beams in to meet code to support the new units. Upstairs, they had to reinforce some existing vertical beams. They had to put in new beams in the roof, and that involved actually cutting open part of the entire roof. And in the gymnasium, they didn't have to take the roof off. What they did is they brought in beams that were scissored in the middle, and they brought them in from the inside and then put them up into place that way. So in the gym, what they did is they just had to put in more ceiling joists.
Like the renovations, I've been going to meetings every 2 weeks. The last we've heard is the first week of December. We're hoping to have the majority of it done, and then of course it's cleanup after that. So it would be great to be back into our classrooms after Christmas, but you just never know. It depends on the weather and whether or not they have the electricians connected with the plumbers that are connected with the contractors and such, that everything falls into place. But that is our hope, that hopefully we can be back in. If not, definitely we'll be in sometime in January.
Something you should mention too is when they started opening up the upstairs to prepare for the renovations, they found a whole bunch of stuff that they had not anticipated. Huge wiring issues, so basically the whole upstairs had to be completely rewired. There was asbestos found, so there had to be an abatement done. So that caused a fairly lengthy delay in the actual renovations that were planned. So.
And they also found electrical in the ductwork that had to
absolutely.
no, right, so they had to take it out in order to go on to the next step. So there was lots that, when
Wasn't
they
anticipated.
anticipated at all.